There are moments in history when silence kills faster than disease. In a world built on reputation and precision, one man's arrogance can become another's battlefield. It was 1998, St. Augustine Medical Center, Boston, a hospital known for miracles and for secrets buried beneath the operating lights. Dr. Charles Holloway, the chief of surgery, was a living legend. His hands had saved senators, billionaires, and even presidents. His word was law. His smile, a mask polished by decades of power.
Then came Dr. Elias Monroe, a 29-year-old cardiac surgeon, newly graduated from Johns Hopkins. Quiet, focused, a man who believed that medicine was a sacred duty, not a stage for ego. When Elias joined Holloway's team, he expected mentorship. What he found instead was deceit wrapped in white coats. One evening, a wealthy donor's son lay dying from complications caused by a botched surgery, an error made by Holloway himself. But the report, rewritten overnight, blamed a nurse. The truth was scrubbed cleaner than the instruments.
Elias read the falsified chart and felt the weight of every oath he had taken. He confronted the chief, not with anger, but with evidence. And Holloway, in his calm, godlike tone, said only this: "You're too young to understand how this world works." But Elias understood enough. That truth was bleeding, and someone had to stop the hemorrhage. The war behind the scalpel had begun. It happened during the next morning's surgery, a high-stakes cardiac bypass in the main operating room. The gallery above was filled with interns, nurses, and administrators. Holloway took the lead, Elias assisting. Halfway through, the patient's vitals crashed. A ruptured artery, the same mistake Holloway had made before. Panic rippled. Elias saw the error instantly. His hand moved, firm, precise, defiant. He reached across the table and corrected the chief's incision. "Step back, doctor," Elias said, his voice calm, his tone final. For a heartbeat, silence. Then, the suction hissed. The monitor steadied. The pulse returned. Gasps filled the room. Holloway froze, his hands hovering mid-air, his authority shattered in front of his entire staff. The operation continued, but the power had shifted. Not through politics, through skill, courage, and truth. That single incision cut deeper than any blade ever could.
The surgery was a success. The patient lived. But the corridors of St. Augustine felt colder than ever. By evening, whispers spread like infection. The prodigy challenged the legend. Monroe corrected Holloway's cut. He saved the patient and humiliated the chief. In his office, Dr. Holloway sat behind his mahogany desk, staring at his trembling hands. For the first time in 20 years, he felt mortal. Pride had steadied his fingers for decades. Now shame made them shake. He summoned Elias. The young surgeon entered, not triumphant, but composed. Holloway's voice was low. "You embarrassed me in front of my team." Elias replied softly, "I saved your patient, sir. I did what you taught me, to put life above pride." The chief's eyes darkened. "You'll learn that truth can destroy careers." Elias looked at him for a long, steady moment. "And lies, sir, destroy lives." That line cut deeper than any scalpel. The hospital board investigated the incident. The falsified report came to light. Holloway's cover-ups unraveled,
like stitches pulled from a wound. He was forced into early retirement. As he walked out of the hospital for the last time, Elias stood at the doorway, not with victory, but with sorrow. Because real justice, he knew, is never bloodless. The moral was clear. Skill without integrity is hollow. Power without accountability is disease. In the war between truth and arrogance, one saves life, the other only saves face. Years passed. Dr. Elias Monroe rose through the ranks, eventually becoming the youngest chief of surgery in the hospital's history. But he never spoke of that morning. To new interns, the story became legend, whispered during late-night shifts. The one time a resident corrected the chief mid-surgery. They say you could hear the monitors beeping echo like a heartbeat of truth. The tale spread far beyond the hospital, into medical schools, conferences, and the quiet conscience of every surgeon who faced a moral choice. Even Holloway, now retired and forgotten by the media, would occasionally read about Monroe's achievements. And once, in a rare interview, he said softly, "He did what I couldn't. He chose the patient over himself." The story became more than hospital lore. It became a reminder that the sharpest scalpel is not the one that cuts flesh, but the one that cuts through pride. Dr. Monroe would often tell his students, "Skill saves lives, integrity saves souls." And that is why, decades later, every surgeon at St. Augustine still remembers the day a young doctor changed the meaning of power behind the scalpel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories from states of history.